Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital? Hi guys, can we all hear me? If you can hear me, can you comment in the chat, please? Okay. I want to see some responses in the chat, please. To be sure that I'm not talking to myself. We are live on YouTube, right? Okay. Oh, that's nice. It's nice to know you guys can hear me. It's nice to know that I'm talking to myself. Okay, hi everyone. We are so sorry for the delay. The team was having some technical issues, but I think that we can make a start now. Okay, hi guys. I'm very excited to be here. I always enjoy and love opportunities where I can talk about tech and I can talk about my experience, because I feel like these are some of the things that helped me while I was trying to navigate my career. So I'm just going to introduce myself. So my name is Omokende Oluwatomilola Olufemi Aibuki. I know it's long. I'm still getting used to the name. I got married months ago, so I'm still getting used to the long name. But I'm sure if some of you look me up on social media, it's still my maiden name that will be shared. So my other name is the Oshoko. So I'm currently based in England. 1 minute, please, guys. So I'm currently based in England, Newcastle to be precise. I currently work for a fintech firm. It's a financial technology firm where I work as a data consultant, and I also enjoy design a lot. Anything that has colors, typography, anything that has to do with visual communication really interests me. Anything that makes the life of people easy with mobile apps or whatever, you would find me there. Um, yeah, there's a whole lot to say about myself, so I'm not going to keep rambling, but I would say that getting into the tech space for me was relatively easy. And when I say easy, that's because I knew what I wanted, that exactly I was going for, and it was easy for me to stay focused. So I have a background in finance, like if you guys have seen my bio, I have a background in finance from the University of Lagos. I graduated in 17 or 2018. I don't even know, because you know that situation where you finish your final exam in 2017, but then your convocation is in 2018. So you don't even know what year exactly. So 2017 stroke 2018, that's when I graduated. I moved to the UK in 2021, where I studied at the University of Chester for my master's degree in international business. And while I was studying all these business and finance related things, I was also on the side training myself and learning, upskilling myself for tech opportunities. So I was taking online courses, various certifications, going to tech events, meeting tech people, connecting with people on LinkedIn, joining communities, and I just put myself out there basically, and it was quite straightforward for me anyway, because I can say it was straightforward because I knew what I wanted. Like I said, it's going to be very hard if you don't know what exactly you want and you're just testing different things. Like it's okay to test different things, but you just need to have a niche, have something that people know you for. You know, it's good if you specialize
one thing as opposed to doing different things. But it's okay to do different things if you're trying to find what you are excited about, right? So once you try different things and you find something you're excited about, then you can then stick to something or stick to one thing or stick to two things. Like for me, in my case, is data analysis and product design. Those are like my two major loves when it comes to tech. So I'm just going to go right to answering questions now. Um, I think my one of the facilitators, um, I just want to say yes, I'm ready to answer questions now. So you can bring up the questions. Thank you. Okay, so the first question says, is the tech space really for everyone? That is, can everyone and anyone find their footing there? I would say the tech space is not heaven. um, so it depends on what your, I would say it's largely dependent on your interest and what excites you as a person. So for instance, I feel like these days in this digital age, everything we do revolves around technology. Like there's some fields that you would think that, oh, they don't have anything to do with tech, but surprisingly it has everything to do with tech. So for instance, if you studied law, if you're a lawyer, you would think, oh, I should probably just be reading books and be drowning in books. But these they have law tech, we have law and technology, we have fields that merge fields that merge both law and technology. Other times you can some other be like, oh, maybe you enjoy writing and you're like, how does technology come into play? How do I find myself in the tech space as a writer? Well, these days we have what is called UX writing, which is user experience writing, which simply means someone can build a product or build a mobile application, and it is your job to tell the story of that product, of that application, of the problem that needs to be solved. So before, you would not imagine someone who is a writer to find them in the tech space, but these days every single thing revolves around technology. So I think the answer to the question is, I would say, is tech for everyone? It depends on you. It depends on your interest. And I feel like all of us interact with technology every single day. Your phone is technology, right? Your laptop, you are interacting with technology. Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Power BI, you're interacting with technology without even thinking about it. So it's tech for everyone. I would say it is possible for anyone and everyone to find themselves in the tech space. You just have to find your niche. You just have to find what interests you and how that is related to technology. So, for instance, in my case, I was very interested in finance and business, but then I was like, okay, I'm very interested in the tech space. How can I merge both finance and technology together? And then I found out that, oh, there was something called the fintech industry. That's the financial technology industry. That's the merging of finance and technology. And I was like, oh, okay, this sounds familiar. So I can merge my experience of finance and also merge my experience of tech and be able to navigate the fintech space. So, Oluwaseyi, Joel, I hope that answers your question. So, next question, please. Um, does one really need big capitals to go into tech? I'm not sure what you mean by big capitals. Are you trying to start a business, right? Are you trying to build a mobile application? Are you trying to solve a problem, right? I feel like when you're going into tech, the first thing in your mind should really not be capital, right? It should be, what are you doing to upskill yourself? What are you doing to to stay in tech? What are you doing to navigate the tech space? What interest in tech? Tech is large, a whole lot. Some people walk up to me and be like, "Oh, hello, Kenny. I want to go into tech." And my next question is, what area of tech? Because tech is big. You have software development. You can be a software developer. You can be a product designer. You can be a graphic designer. You can be a copywriter. You can be a cybersecurity analyst. You can be an IT analyst. Tech is big. You have to streamline and ask yourself, what exactly in tech? Where exactly in tech do I want to find myself? You can't just say, "Oh, I want to come into the tech space." For instance, in my case, I'm like, "Oh, I'm interested in tech," but my interest and my experience made me to want to go towards the fintech to financial technology, right? So you have to know what exactly in tech you want to do, right? You have to know what problem you want to solve. For instance, like you said, do you need big capitals? I think it's largely dependent on the problem you want to solve. It's largely dependent on what exactly you want to build. Do you want to build a mobile application that will solve a particular problem? Do you want to build a website? Do you want to do you want to do whatever? You need to know what exactly you want to do. But I would say having capital should not be the first question that you'd ask yourself, right? Like I said, what are your interests? What exactly do you want to do? What product do you want to build? What problem do you want to solve? That then determines the scale of capital, or the intensity, or the amount, or how much or how big the capital you need is going to be. So I would say my advice to you would be, ask questions, ask people that have built something, just in case, like I said, you want to build something. Ask people that have built something, connect with people, network with people, go on LinkedIn, go on Twitter, connect with people, ask questions, ask other entrepreneurs questions, look for people that are in the space where you want to specialize in, and ask questions. And I feel like it's just going to be up from there. Okay, I hope I've answered your question. Thank you. Next question, please. How do you define consistency in tech? So I'm going to say, now your question is, I think for me, I'm seeing two sides. When you say, how do you define consistency in tech, do you mean the industry, or do you mean like going into tech and learning tech stuff, how to define consistency? So I'm going to just answer the one where you want to, feels like I think you are asking where you want to acquire skills. How do you define consistency in tech? I'm very it's really hard to be consistent with anything these days, where you have a lot of distractions, where there are a lot of things trying to call your name and call your attention. But I think that the most important thing is, when you know what exactly you want out of life, when you exactly know what your goal is, when you know exactly what your goal is, that is what would drive you to be consistent. One of the ways you can stay relevant in the tech space is take online courses. Like, I can't count, I've taken a lot of online courses, some that it's like, oh, might not be useful, and some like, oh, I need to do this. I just took a lot of them because I want to build my knowledge base. I want to be able to walk into a conference, a tech conference, and I'm not lost. I know what they're talking about. I want to be kept like abreast with the trends. I want to be involved with tech. Tech 10 years ago, tech 5 years ago is not the same as tech now. A lot of things have changed. We have the emergence of robotics, virtual reality, augmented reality, and a whole lot of that. So it is hard to be consistent, like I said, but I think that let your goal drive you, let it fuel your fire or passion to want to be in the tech space. Attend conferences, take courses, like I said, build your network, join communities on LinkedIn, on Twitter, have a mentor, someone that has walked the path that you're trying to walk. It is easier that way because then you avoid the mistakes that they made. And if it took them 10 years to get to a particular place, because you have someone holding your hand, it would probably take you 2 years because now there's someone that has experience that is ahead of you. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question. Next question, please. What's the biggest challenge an upcoming programmer might face in the near future? So I understand this question because I remember when I first started to write codes. I remember when I wrote my first 10 lines of code, I was so excited. I'm like, oh, I'm a hacker now. I started to picture myself in those movies where you have a hacker and then they're just typing, writing codes. And I'm like, oh, wow, I want to be this someday. So I can totally relate. There's a lot of challenges, but I'm going to say the way the tech space is moving right now is moving towards a no code transition. It's going through a no code transition where you can build websites these days without writing one line of code, whereas before 5-10 years ago that was totally impossible, right? So I think that the biggest challenge as an upcoming programmer that you might face in the future is evolving with the tech space. You need to understand this trend. You need to evolve with the trend, evolve and engage with the latest technologies. If before all you needed to do was know HTML, CSS, Java, and Bootstrap and all that, these days we have React.js, we have a whole lot of programming tools and programming languages coming up where some years ago they were not really popular, but these days they are now popular. So I would say stay abreast and keep up with the trend, understand what is going on, engage with the new technologies in this space, watch videos, subscribe to tech websites so that you'll be able to see what language the industry is speaking and moving these days and moving forward. Don't just be outdated, right? Someone that was a programmer 5 years ago and has not learned anything new, has not learned new tools or new programming languages, is left behind, right? So tech is moving, the world is changing, the digital age keeps evolving. Evolve with the trend. So I'm saying that's what I think is going to be a big challenge, staying abreast and evolving, but you have to. Like I said, if not, you're going to be left behind. You'll just realize that the HTML and CSS that you used to know cannot fly again. So, yeah. Next question, please. Oh, it's good to know I answered your question. Cybersecurity is not really my space, but I know a little bit about it. So when it comes to cybersecurity, first of all, I would say know exactly cybersecurity is, right? And I would say some of these tech roles, the names are just big. You just hear someone say, oh, I'm a software engineer, I'm a data engineer. What they are doing might not pass more than they are using Microsoft Excel to work. So first of all, I would say when it comes to getting into the tech space, don't be intimidated. Before I used to think that, oh, it's going to be hard, I have to do this and do that. But when I got in, I realized that some of these tools are like the easiest things to use, right? They just make your life easier. Don't be intimidated. Research what exactly cybersecurity is about. Google it. Go on YouTube, watch videos about cybersecurity. That way you'll be able to know what requirements you need. So when it comes to cybersecurity, I think you need to have some level of how will I put it? You need to be like a critical thinker. Your analytical skills has to notch because I mean, we are literally talking about security here. So there's some exams you probably are going to take. Like I said, do your research, understand what cybersecurity is. That way you'll be able to know what is required of you. Google it, watch videos, follow people that are cybersecurity people on Twitter or on LinkedIn. See what they've been up to. That way you begin to get like a mental picture of what is expected of you to become a cybersecurity analyst. So yeah. Next question. If there is, what skill makes someone an effective worker? I'm not, this question is not specific enough. I'm not sure if it is, I'm not sure like what industry you are, what industry you want to get into, what the context of the question is, but I'm just going to answer generally. The skills that makes you an effective worker is be hardworking. That might sound cliche, but I'm just going to say whatever it is that you find yourself in, make sure you give it your best, even though it feels like, oh, what I'm supposed to be doing now, oh, my mates are doing or whatever. No experience is lost. So whatever it is that you're doing, give it your best, right? Be hardworking, always come with your A game. You want to do something, you have a task that you're supposed to do, give it your best shot, right? You never know when that experience you have is going to be useful for you. So yeah, I just gave it answer because the question is a very generic question. I'm not sure I know the context of it, but yeah. Okay, so the next question says, are there areas in the tech space that are more relevant or more important than the other, or do they just go hand in hand? I would say when it comes to the tech space, there is no area that is more relevant than the other. And say there are some areas that are more popular than the others, right? For instance, software development is popular, cybersecurity is popular, but you would not really hear some roles like product owner or product manager or copywriter or UX writing or UX. Some of these roles, tech roles, are not so popular, but they are equally important. Some of them are in the background of things. So for instance, if a software developer wants to build a website, there's somebody working in the background. You have someone that probably has researched about the product, or maybe not a website, maybe a mobile application. You have someone that has researched what they want to build. You have the UX researcher, you have the UX designer, someone tries to understand the pain points of the users of the product, of the mobile application, and be able to solve those problems. You're a UX designer that designs the prototype of the mobile application before the front-end developer now codes that design, brings it into life. You also have the back-end developer that does some things in the background. So I would say there are some areas there are some that are more popular than others, but I think that every single area or aspect of tech is very relevant. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Next question, if there is. Why should designers familiarize themselves with prompt engineering? I would say this is a very good question. A very, very good question. And I say that because I like that this person doesn't just want to restrict themselves to design alone. This person is thinking, knowing how to build themselves and just understand what it is. But I'm gonna say, when it comes to you having a particular skill in tech, for instance, a designer, it is always good to understand some other areas of tech, For instance, I'm a multidiscipline designer and a front-end developer. What that literally means is I am a product designer, I'm a UI UX designer, graphic designer, I'm a front-end developer, right? I could literally have just said, you know what, I just want to be a front-end developer where I just want to build websites, right? But because of, I was very curious about other things or other aspects of being in tech or being in that space. I was very curious, and my curiosity drove me into learning product design, UI UX design, graphic design, and all that. So I would say it is always very good for you to not just stay in one particular place. If there are skills that you can acquire that are not necessarily related to what you know, but can help you, right? I would say by all means learn it. So please, it would be very useful for you to familiarize yourself with prompt engineering, because you really never know where you'd find yourself in some months or some years. 1 minute I was a front-end developer, the next minute I was a data consultant, right? So what if I just said I just want to stay as a front-end developer, and then here comes the of being a data analyst, and I'm like, oh, I don't know anything about data analysis. So it's always good when you get the opportunity, familiarize yourself with similar technologies that are close related to what you're already doing. Yeah, next question. Okay, how do you categorize the division of labor in the tech field? How do I categorize division of labor in the tech field? I'm just gonna say every single person has a role to play when it comes to building a product. So for instance, I want to build a product that I want to build a particular mobile application. The problem of maybe ice cream delivery, right? There was a problem of ice cream delivery in Lagos. So the division of labor to places, there's going to be a UX researcher that is going to research the different demography of people in that space, how they are, what are their interests, what they do for a living. Then there comes another person called the UX designer, the user experience designer, somebody that is going to then say, okay, the people that the UX researcher has researched about, I'm going to take a look at them and see how best to solve their problems, right? And then the UX researcher then goes ahead to do like a flow chart, or just draw a user persona or something that would then give the UI designer, that's the user interface designer, the UI designer, to then design what is in the UX designer's head, right? And then the UI designer then goes to draw up a prototype of what the UX designer has given him, draw up a prototype, and then the front-end developer then brings to life what the UI designer has designed. That exactly is division of labor. Every single person engaged in a particular product or in building a particular product, every single person has a role to play. There are other people that might be involved. You have the product owner, you have the project manager, a whole lot of people that are involved. So division of labor is literally what the tech space is, because not one role in tech can solve all the problems. And that's why we have different aspects of tech. And those different aspects of tech can be categorized as division of labor, because every single person is solving different problems. Every single person, is trying to build something, but we are all headed towards a particular destination, which is to solve people's problems. That's it. Yeah. With the rise of automation and AI, how can individuals ensure their skills remain relevant? Like I said before, how you make your skills remain relevant is keep researching, stay stay involved in the trend, know what exactly is going on, how the tech space is evolving, how your skills are evolving. 10, 20 years ago, shorthand skills were a big thing. Now, nobody uses shorthand. 20 years ago, or 30 or 40 years ago, typewriter was a thing. If you knew how to type with a typewriter, you were like hot cake. But now, typewriters probably belong in the museum. Nobody uses them anymore. What happened was people grew. They made sure that the skills they had stayed relevant. Someone that had skills in typewriting probably had to develop themselves to learn how to use the computer, right? So that is how you stay relevant. You keep evolving, you keep changing. You can't just acquire a particular skill and just stay there. You need to evolve, be involved, and know the different technologies. For instance, as a graphic designer, before it used to be Corel Draw. Now you have different tools you can use for design. My favorite is Canva. You can use Canva, you can use Photoshop, you can use Adobe Suite. There's a whole lot of tools that you can use these days. What if I was like, you know what, I just want to stay with Corel Draw, I don't want to learn any other thing, then my skills are going to be made irrelevant, because there are awesome, amazing designs that you can make without Corel Draw. So the question says, with the rise of automation and AI, how can individuals ensure that their skills remain relevant, evolve, take online courses, right? Take online courses that will make your skills that you have updated. Just the way you have some apps on your phone, and then for some reason, after some weeks or some months, it will tell you, oh, this app needs to be updated. That is because there is something new that has been added to that mobile application that needs to be updated, right? So you can't just have the same skills you had 5 years ago are the same skills you have now. You are going to be outdated. So keep growing, keep learning, keep moving, keep evolving, keep networking, and you're going to stay relevant in this ever-changing digital age. So yeah, that's it. What soft skills do you need to stay ahead in AI? Artificial intelligence. There's a whole lot of things going on in that space right now. Oh my goodness. It is just a lot with the emergence of ChatGPT and other relevant softwares. It's just a whole lot. Like, it feels like every single month there is something new to learn. So I would say what the soft skills that you need to stay ahead in AI, I would say, is continuous learning, critical thinking. You need to be a critical thinker to be in the artificial intelligence space. You need to be a critical thinker. You need to be analytical in your thinking. It's not just, AI is not it's not a field where you're just gonna be, well, I say, just writing codes all day or whatever. But I'm just going to say, like, there's a whole lot that has to do with artificial intelligence. A whole lot is going on in that space. I would say take online courses. There are so many courses you can take on AI on Udemy, Allison, Udacity, what other platform? Coursera. Just literally Google soft skills for artificial intelligence, and a list of skills are gonna come on where you can know, okay, what exactly it is that you want to learn. So communication, collaboration, you can't escape collaboration, critical thinking, problem solving. The entire essence of artificial intelligence is to solve problems. So problem solving skills, critical thinking skills, analytical skills, collaboration skills, because you're going to work with other people. So you need to be able to communicate, collaborate with people, be a team player, in the tech space, you can't do it on your own. You need to work in a team. You need to have a community of people where you all are engaging yourselves. There are a lot of things going on, engaging yourselves, making sure that, you know, you all like stay ahead in the game and just build skills together. So that's why I keep emphasizing joining a community. There are a lot of communities on LinkedIn. Just go on LinkedIn and literally just search for artificial intelligence, and you would see a part that says people, community, jobs, or whatever. Click on communities. You would see a lot of communities that you can join on LinkedIn. See what the conversations are about. See what people are talking about. Engage with what people are talking about, and that's it. That's literally it. It's not it's not um it's not a lot. Just the simple things that are always very important. Yeah. I can see some people saying we skipped their question. Hey, sorry, oh, please facilitate, or please let's take note of that. Yeah, like the facilitator said, if a question is yet to be answered, drop it again. Let's spotlight it. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I'm enjoying your questions. You guys are really on fire. Wow. That's so nice. So as a graphic designer, what do you think is the best way to build your career and fame digitally on social media platforms? I would say, because I'm also a graphic designer, by the way, I enjoy designing a whole lot. It makes me happy. I enjoy colors. I enjoy typography. I just enjoy, just the whole essence of design in the tech space really interests me. So I'm gonna say the best way to build your career and fame digitally on social media platforms is have a portfolio. Yeah, have a portfolio, showcase your work. There are different ways you can showcase your work. There are different platforms you can showcase your work. For instance, you can put all the designs that you have made, right? All the designs that you've made, you can put them on a particular website. For instance, I use Behance, Behance. Behance is like a portfolio platform where you can sign up, and then you'll be able to like upload the designs that you've done in the past. And if someone says, "Oh, I need your service as a graphic designer. I want to see what you've done," you can literally just send them the link. Here's the link to my portfolio. These are the things that I've done. You can post those links on social media also. On LinkedIn, for instance, you can, just upload the pictures of things that you have done. Explain what you did. Explain why you chose maybe a particular font or the particular color that you chose, and just explain, tell a story through your design. I think that's one thing that is very interesting about design, and something that is very catchy. Don't just design something for the sake of it. Why did you design it? What's the problem you're trying to solve? If you're trying to design a particular flyer for maybe a marketing campaign, right, for a startup or whatever, that flyer is solving a problem. What problem is it solving? Solving the problem of information. That flyer contains information that people need to know. Okay, this event is happening by this time on this date at this location. It has solved the problem. People didn't know maybe the time or date or whatever before, but uploading that flyer, you have solved the problem. It all depends on how you tell your story, right? So have a portfolio, showcase. Don't be afraid to showcase your work on LinkedIn, on Twitter, or whatever. Let people engage. Let people see what you're doing. Let people correct what you're doing. You can, send me something on maybe a particular design. I'm like, oh, okay, why don't you use this particular font? Why don't you use this particular color? Why don't you do this like this? Why don't you make this space like this and all that? So let people criticize your work, right? Those things will help you grow and help you become a better graphic designer. Yeah. So Kayode, I hope I've answered your question. Okay, so yeah, next question, please. If there is any. The easiest way to learn web development. Is there an easy way? If there was an easy way, a lot of people would be learning web development. But I'm just gonna say, um, start small. Start with researching. YouTube, you'll be amazed at the amount of resources and courses, free courses that are available on YouTube that you can take to become a web developer. I remember when I was learning web design, because I learned how to build websites, I think sometime in 2020. I still can, but I just really enjoyed it. And all I would do is just go on YouTube and watch a particular course. Maybe the YouTuber is trying to build a particular website, and I'll be following step by step what the person is doing. From doing that, I grew to doing stuff on my own, right? And there are so many things, there's so many ways you can build a website these days without coding. You can use WordPress. I am very, very good in WordPress. I enjoy building websites with WordPress. If you don't want to go through the rigor of writing codes, you can use Wix. There are a whole lot of ways to become a web developer these days, but I'm just gonna say research, go on YouTube. There's no easy way. You have to do the work. You have to build your skills, your design skills. If you want to be a web developer, at least you need to be, to a large extent, be a good designer, at least maybe not a professional, because you are going to be building websites. You need to have an eye for color. If not, there are different things that color says. For instance, the red shows danger, and red shows also like is used by food brands. White and black is used by luxury brands, right? The blue color has a way of relating or just showcasing peace, passion. Color yellow shows like bubbly, like happy, vitality. Green shows like eco-friendly agriculture. There's a whole lot of things about colors. You don't just build a website and just use any random color. Oh, because pink is my favorite color, I'm going to put pink on this website. It doesn't work like that. So you need to know what the brand is saying, what the brand colors are, and all that. So just learn, keep learning, watch YouTube videos, take free courses online. I would say also that I've forgotten this particular website that helps W3 Schools. W3 Schools is also very, very good. A good platform to learn web development. And yeah, basically that's it. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. W3 Schools. Yeah, and also Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow helps to answer your questions. Like if you are writing a particular code and you get stuck, you can go on Stack Overflow, STACK, Stack Overflow, yes, to get answers to some of your questions. You'll be amazed how whatever it is you're struggling with, a developer somewhere has gone through that same issue and has answered those questions. And that will be helpful. Next question, please. Oh, thank you guys. You're enjoying my answers. Oh, thank you. Please, can you explain the different areas of tech? The different areas of tech. So I'm just going to list a couple because areas of tech are, like I said, are very broad. So I'm just going to explain some things. So for instance, we have copywriting. Those are people that try to tell the story of a brand, right? Do you understand? They try to tell the story of a brand. We have IT analysts, those ones, or IT support. Those are people that solve problems on a desktop. You have issues with something on your laptop, you don't know what exactly is wrong with it. IT support people are your go-to. Web development, like I said, to build websites. Software developers to build products. UI UX designers, product designers to design products. We have full stack developers, both front end and back end, to build websites and also maintain those websites. We have UX researcher to conduct research on users' needs for of a particular product and just know the problems that need to be solved. You have cybersecurity. Those are the people that like make your phones, the Wi-Fi on your phones, or just anything that has to do with making sure that you don't get hackers hacking into your system, right? We have network engineers. We have there's a whole lot. So to get a full answer of this question, I would say Google it. Just Google it. Just literally Google different areas in tech. A lot of answers are gonna come out, and you can start clicking one by one to understand what each area is all about. Yeah. Thank you, guys. How was I able to manage schoolwork and programming simultaneously? To be honest, just thinking about it now, I'm already stressed. It was very stressful. I mean, I wasn't doing it in my undergrad, but when I moved to the UK and I was doing my masters, that was when I had to be doing those things, building up my skills simultaneously with schoolwork. And schoolwork here is crazy. There's a whole lot. Attending lectures to assignments. It was really, really stressful. I'm not even going to lie. Like looking back, I'm like, how did I even do it? But I'm just going to say I knew what I wanted. I knew what I wanted to achieve, and that was what really drove me to staying consistent. There are some times that all I did was sleep all day and didn't do anything. To be honest, but there are days where my passion drove me to becoming consistent. Sorry guys. Yeah, so there are times that my passion drove me to becoming consistent because it was not easy, but I managed my time very well. I made sure that I didn't let anything stop me because I knew what I wanted to achieve. So there are times I'm exhausted, but I tell myself, I'm okay, this is what you want to achieve, you have to do this. So I sit there hours and hours taking courses, building myself, watching videos on YouTube, designing stuff, working hard to do these things, and also be able to achieve a very, very good outcome with my master's degree. So it wasn't easy, but I would say you just have to do it. You have to manage your time well. You have to know what exactly you want and let those things push you. And I'm so grateful because 2 years, it's been almost 2 years now since I graduated, and I'm just really grateful that I did those things I did then, because I'm reaping the fruit of my labor now. Getting a job was not hard because I had already built those skills while I was studying. And after studying, it was quite easy to get a job as a data analyst because I already built my skills. And I could have gotten a job as a front-end developer, as a product designer, because I have those skills and I developed them and I kept evolving in those skills. And today I can decide to change a career path from being a data analyst to being a product designer to being a front-end developer. And I can do that if I want, because I have those skills and I'm continuously building those skills. So that's it. Yes, I can take one more question. Thank you. How can I make my portfolio website visible without monetization? You can literally just post the link on LinkedIn or on Twitter. Yes, it's not hard at all. Build your portfolio, make it visible by putting it on social media platforms. Let's make it your link, add it to your bio on Instagram as a link, put it as a link on Twitter, on LinkedIn, make a post, put it there, draw attention to it, tell a story around it, draw attention to it, and people will click. You don't have to monetize. And there are several ways you can build your portfolio. excuse me, like I said, on Behance. You can decide to build a website yourself. Notion, you can use Notion to build a portfolio. You can use Wix to build a portfolio, or just literally Google how to build a portfolio website. And there are different websites that are gonna show up where you can build your portfolio and also showcase the link. Most of the times it comes as a form of link. Just post it on social media and let people engage. Yeah, I hope I answered your question. Yeah, so I think that's my last question. I'm answering. Maybe the next um guest speaker is going to continue where I stop, but um yeah. Okay, let me just answer this one. I think this person says, what is the timeline for becoming a well-developed tech personnel? To be honest, the timeline depends on you. You can learn these things in 6 months, in 3 months, in 2 years, in 3 years. It depends on you. It depends on how bad you want it. It depends on how bad you want it. It depends on what exactly you are gunning for. It depends on the time you give yourself. So it largely depends on you. No one else can dictate that time. You can decide to learn web development in 3 months. I learned web development in 1 month. At least learned the very basics, and I started to build on what I learned. I started to build myself. Some people it takes them 6 months, some people a year. It largely depends on you. It does. Um, Techies should engage in web hackathons because it is a good challenge. It's a great way of challenging yourself to be better. For instance, when you you're with a group of people, like-minded people, like a group of web developers around you, right? Where you guys are trying to build a particular product, and or you guys are in a challenge to do something. It has a way of motivating you to do better and be better, because when you engage in hackathons, you get to learn from other people. I've been a part of a hackathon before, or maybe not. Yeah, I think it was a hackathon, because we had like different teams, like 5 different teams, and we had to build something. So yeah, I think that was it. It was easy to learn. There were some things that I didn't know that I learned from the other groups. So web hackathons has a way of pushing you from your comfort zone and making you learn new things, learn from other people, let other people learn from you. But most importantly, see what other people are doing, right? And learn from them. Web hackathon is like a competition where you have web developers in a particular team trying to build something, right? They're trying to write codes for maybe a certain number of hours or a timeline that is given to them, but it's basically like a competition. Yeah. Okay. I think that's all the questions. I think I've answered every question. Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, so that will be all for me, guys. I hope you've learned a thing or two. You can check me out on LinkedIn at Omokende Oshoko OSOKO. I've not changed my middle name on LinkedIn, so you can check me out on LinkedIn. Follow me. I'm not active on Twitter. Twitter is not my thing, but you can follow me on LinkedIn, Omokende Oshoko OSOKO. Check me out. Send me a message. If you have a particular portfolio you want me to check out, send me the link. Let me check it out. Let me learn from you. And let me also, criticize your work and see the things that I might be able to help with that you can do better, right? Don't be afraid to say hi, chat with me, ask me questions, and I'm very, very ready to help. Very ready to help. So thank you so much, guys. The person taking over from me can take over now. But thank you guys so much. I'm so excited. for the opportunity to be able to share. Thank you for the organizers for reaching out to me. Such an amazing opportunity for me. I always enjoy sharing what I've learned because I feel like that was the way I also learned. Um, so yeah, thank you so much, guys. Have an amazing day.
Okay, good evening once again. It's been an amazing chat. It's been a chat indeed. And thank you, Mrs. Kende. You were super awesome. There are a lot of take homes from this fireside chat. I don't know if the audience were jotting things down. I heard about the three C's. Kende talk about, I heard collaborating, communicating, getting involved in creative thinking if we want to stay ahead of the AI, if we want to stay ahead of this AI game. So it's been really amazing. She also says we should keep networking, we should keep learning, we should keep involving. There is no staying stagnant. It's been an awesome time. Thank you once again, ma'am. You've been really amazing. We love you. We so appreciate you. And thank you, our most delightful audience, for keeping with us, for staying with us, for being very interested in learning. You're already ahead of the AI game, honestly, for staying here at this time, for spending your 45 minutes here. It's not easy. You're already ahead, trust me. So before we go, before I let Mrs. Kende go, I have a question for her. All
Oh,
right.
okay.
So when you hear people say, I'm a tech star. I'm in the tech industry. We see them as so serious. So we see them as so much as there's this notion. Most persons see them as being too serious. So, but I'd like you to tell us something fun about you. What's the fun part of Mrs. Kende? How do we know she's not like a robot? Like someone I've heard there's a notion that tech stars are like robots, honestly. Like, so would like to know something fun about you. So if you're not doing tech, what are you involved in? What else would you be doing?
Yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness. I I totally understand the notion of tech being, very strict, which is I think it largely boils down to personality, to be honest. Because if you're an introvert and then you're a tech and you're in tech space, that's like a recipe for being a robot. But I'm just gonna say, for me, I'm not a serious person. When I say I'm not a serious person, like, I'm not a robot. I'm a very fun person. When I'm not doing serious tech work, I'm a photographer. I'm a documentary photographer. I like taking pictures of my environment and just seeing the beautiful things that God has created. So if I'm not doing that, I'm Netflixing, I'm watching a movie, hanging out with my friends, just chilling. To be honest, I I don't think you would see me outside and be like, this person is a tech person, because I'm a very fun person and I'm not a robot. Not all of us are robots, please. So if you're an extrovert, you can be in the tech space and be fun like me. So yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. I can see it already. You're really fun. You made it fun. You made it really fun for us.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And we'll be calling it wraps right now. And so we'll be letting Mrs. Kende go.
Okay,
So
guys.
I'm sure the viewers have something to say. We love you. We appreciate you. We hope to see you again.
Thank you, guys.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you so much,
everyone.
Mom. Looking forward to
Bye.
meeting you.
Me
Okay.
too.
Bye
Thank you, guys.
bye. All right. Okay. So this program is powered by Tech Skill Inclusion. Now, Tech Skill Inclusion is is made up of a group of young minds who are goal oriented, who are digitally relevant, who are tech savvy, who are in a march, who are constantly winning the war against the rising unemployment. Now, tech skill inclusion drives on three wheels. That is, we drive on the wheel of volunteering. Now, we call on persons of different skills to volunteer with us. Like our guest said, she said that tech thrives in collaboration. That is, there is a lot of division of labor. So also in tech skill inclusion, we welcome volunteer. We advocate for volunteerism. So the thing is, we welcome a lot of volunteers. If you can volunteer with us in any capacity, you can use your any knowledge you have in tech. Even if you don't have a knowledge in tech, you can volunteer with us. So we thrive on volunteering. Two, in scaling up, we are also scaling persons up in our different community programs so that you can be ready for the AI age. We have different communities, and that is one, the cybersecurity, we have web design, we have graphics design. We just want you to be well rounded, to be so ready for this digital age. And lastly, you can partner with us. If you don't want to volunteer, if you don't want to skill up, you can partner with us. You can support the work we do, and we know you will not regret it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been an amazing time. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube. Also follow us on Facebook. We are Tech Skill Inclusion on Facebook. Also on Instagram, we are Tech Skill Inclusion on Instagram. We love you. And if you'd like to partner in our community programs, just tap interested and we will get back to you. Okay. Bye bye.
Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the ever-changing digital landscape? Do you want to learn how to remain relevant in this digital age? Then we have good news for you. Tech Skill Inclusion presents our Fireside Chat, a seasonal chat with key industry personnel that will equip you with the skills you need to stay ahead of the game. Join us on YouTube for this edition. Do you want to keep up with the